Hey, this is Marissa. I promised you that when you wrote in with questions, I would answer them. So you got a lot of questions on this really interesting subject. People said, hey, can you talk about daddy issues or what's known in my career as a father complex? And we had so many requests that, well, I better tell you about it. So let me tell you what daddy issues mean. And it really doesn't mean you want to date your daddy, but it also kind of does. So when we're born, how we survive on the planet is very interesting. We learn to always go back to what's familiar and to really avoid what is unfamiliar. When you were 2, you said, well, I don't want that yogurt, it's a different colour, it's got lumps in it. I don't want that food, I've never seen it before. I want to wear the same things. My little girl, when she was 2, wanted to eat Rice Krispies every day for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And I'd have to say, you know what, darling? You want these because you know them. And because you know them, you feel safe, but we're going to have some other stuff. She wanted the same bedtime story every night. And she had about 30 Barbies, but she always played with the same one. So our mind does something interesting. It says, what I know makes me safe and what I don't know is scary. And if you can imagine living 500 years ago in a walled city, what you knew made you safe and what was out there was not safe. And so the reason little 2-year-olds don't want anything new is because it's like, well, when you're 2, you can wander off and pick stuff from bushes and it could be poison. And so nature's very clever. It says, oh no, only like what you know and you're safe. And that's good when you're 2. Now years have passed and let's imagine you had a dad who was critical or cold or just not nice, what I call a withholder. And you'd think, wouldn't you think, oh, I've had enough of that. I lived with my dad for 20 years, critical, mean, withholding. I'm going to find a lovely warm guy. But no, what happens is your mind tries to recreate what you already know and then gets you to put a happy ending on it. So here's how it works. My dad, he didn't mean it. He was always critical. How do I look? Awful. Did I do well? Could have done better. And I know criticism. I was raised with criticism. Now I've met this guy and he's really nice to me. And I'm like, I don't recognize that behavior. I'm right out of my comfort zone. A critical guy, oh, I feel like I've known him all my life. I'm familiar. Remember, your mind is hardwired and super coded to go with what it knows. So some of us meet someone who go, well, you know what, it's so weird, I met this person. Oh, I felt like I'd known them all my life. We just clicked. It was so great. Later you think, oh my God, that's my dad. My dad is critical. And I met this critical guy. My dad is always joking and not serious. I met this guy just like him. I thought I was comfortable, but now I'm trying to change him. You see, my dad was a headmaster. He was a lovely guy. But many years ago, I was out with someone, and he said, I'm not going to allow you to eat dessert. And I'm like, pardon? When did you become a headmaster? And I suddenly thought, oh my God, my dad was a headmaster. Am I really dating my dad? And you know what? I realized I was trying to make him be something he wasn't, because he was very controlling, always had to be in control. And that relationship ended almost immediately when I knew that he was my dad in a different way. So let's take a look at this one more time. Maybe your dad was never there, came to visit you on a Saturday and was always late and would forget, and now the kind of guys you like are always late. You have to kind of force them to turn up. They don't pay you enough attention, and you are trying so hard to make them love you and like you. Because if you could pull that off, you know what you've done? You've recreated your whole childhood and put a great ending on it. Maybe your dad was cold and distant, and you attract cold, distant guys and try and make them warm and lovely, and you've done the same thing, recreated your childhood, changed the ending. Maybe your dad was mean and never really bought you stuff, and you keep finding guys that are mean and don't want to part with their money, and you're trying to make them generous. It's all the same, but the biggest one is always the withholder, the critical withholder. And if you can make a critical withholder kind and generous, your mind thinks you've cracked it. Now, years ago, I was working on a show where we took women. It was a bit like The Swan, but it wasn't The Swan. And we gave them a trainer and a makeover and made them look gorgeous to raise their self-esteem. Of course, it's kind of superficial, but hey, that was this TV show. So I worked with this girl who said, you know, I can go to a bar, and if there's 900 men, I always find the loser. What's going on? So she got all done up on the show. I did some work with her to make her feel super confident and desirable, because it's not externally, it's not here, it's what you feel in here. So I made her feel she was gorgeous and amazing and worthwhile and valid. And she said, you know, it was so weird. I went to the same bar I always go to with my friends, and this amazing guy hit on me, and we spoke, and he took my number, and he called me, and he picked me up in his car, he took me out for dinner, he paid the bill, he sent me a text, and it was lovely. He asked to see me again. It was amazing. And then she said, but I'm never seeing him again. I said, why not? And she said, well, he was too good for me. And I went, rewind that. He was too good for you. You know what you really said? She said, no. I said, I'll tell you. What you really said was, his behavior was so unfamiliar. I didn't recognize it. It took me right out of my comfort zone, and I wanted to run back to what I know. I needed to run back to what I know, and that's where we are. So I said, okay. The critical withholders are daddy, and I'm going to tell you the truth. You are not supposed to go home and get into bed with daddy. You're not supposed to make out with daddy. And if you keep reminding yourself, oh, am I making out with daddy? It will turn you off, just like when I realized the headmaster was my dad and I could never get together with him again. For me, it was stone cold over in 5 minutes, and that was good because he was never right for me. I had to work so hard to make him nice to me that he did me a massive favor. So she understood, and I said, look, your mind likes what's familiar. That's a fact, but here's another fact. You can make anything you like familiar, and I want you to say this saying every day. I am going to make dating a nice guy familiar. They go, oh, well, nice guys are boring. No, they're unfamiliar, and you can make it familiar. Say, I will make a nice guy familiar. Because so many women go, I like bad boys. I like the bad, wild, crazy guys. They work for me. That's lovely. Until you're married with 3 kids and you've still got a bad boy who isn't going to be great father material. And so the bad boy is just because your dad was absent. That's all it is. It's because somewhere in you, you don't feel worthy of real love. And a bad boy, the one who can't be tamed, and you can be the one who tames and makes you think, I must be worthy now because I changed him. I got him. He changed his whole behavior because he loved me so much. You're trying to change the ending when you know what's easier. Change the beginning. Life's too short to keep working to change the ending when you can change the beginning. So back to my client who said, oh, nice guys are boring and he's too good for me. So let's change the beginning. Here's how we do it. You say every day, I am making a relationship with a great guy familiar. I am making liking this guy familiar. I'm making falling for him familiar. I'm making a nice guy loving and adoring me familiar. Familiar, familiar. Never add if it kills me. If it's the last thing I do, don't add that. very simple. I am making dating a great, kind, nice, generous, loving, successful guy familiar, familiar, familiar. And she said that every day. She's now married to him. She's been with him for years, and now she says, you know, it's so weird. What was I thinking of? Dating all those guys that cheated, that made me work so hard even to get their attention. Because if you want love, and we all want love, love is not to be run after. Love is not to be chased or earned or bought. No, you love someone and they love you back. So imagine this. Imagine meeting the person who's perfect for you. And you know they're perfect for you, but they know that you are perfect for them. And you grow a relationship together, loving and believing in each other. Now, could be a great girl. Maybe you like girls, and that's cool. It's not about the gender. I see many girls, the same thing, and say, you know, I only like girls who are mean to me or hurt me or leave me or go off with someone or cheat on me. And it's always because somewhere in the line their father was mean or cheated. And sometimes it's their mother. My mother could never be pleased. Nothing was good enough. I found this person, I thought it was so good, and yet they're always nitpicking. Nothing is quite right. My mum was a control freak, and I date control freaks. That's because you want a control freak to go, hey, I love you so much. You are way more important than the mess. The only thing I care about is you. Who cares about the mess under the bed? We're having such fun in it that nothing else matters. So now you understand what to do. Just take a look at what was going on when you were growing up. We learn what we live. How did your mother treat you? How did your father treat you? How did your siblings treat you? And then take a really long, hard look at the person, the type of person you're attracted to, the type of guy that you're attracted to. And if you're attracted to that same type, it is a father issue. You're making someone love you. You're looking for someone who has the same attributes as your father to make him love you. And sometimes it's the other way. People say, my dad was amazing. He was the kindest, best guy, loved me so much. And you used to always say, you'll never find anyone who'll love you like me. And now I can't find anyone to love me like him, because even a great dad, you're still not supposed to date your dad. And you know how to end it. It's easy. Think of the kind of person you want, the character they would have. What would they be like? Imagine the characteristics of your ideal guy. And then think about, what would my ideal guy, what is it about me that he would love? And then say the magic words, I'm making falling in love with this type of man familiar, familiar, familiar. I am making it familiar. I'm dating nice guys who turn up on time, who cherish me and treat me as if I'm significant and valid, and show me that I am the most important thing in their world. That's what I'm making familiar. Do it again and again. I know it works. You know why? Because I used to like wild, crazy guys that were so unreliable. And then I did a complete change, and I married someone amazing who has always put me first. But I had to make that familiar. And every day I thank God that I did. And you will too. You know what to do. And if you have any friends, and I already know that you do, that are dating Mr. Wrong. I'm dating Mr. Wrong, Mr. Right just for now, Mr. Right off his trolley. But I'm not dating Mr. Right. You don't want Mr. Right for the moment. You want Mr. Right for you. You want someone that loves your soul, that cares about you, that shares your dreams, that you can grow an amazing relationship with together. So focus on that. Share this with other people. Share, like, comment. Let me know what other subjects I can talk to you about. But I promise you, make the daddy issue unfamiliar. It'll change your life, and you'll end up with a great guy What a great girl, a great partner, sooner than you could ever imagine possible by making that stuff from your childhood unfamiliar. Marilyn Monroe was always looking for daddy. In the arms, in the bed of every man she was with, she was looking for daddy. She got married 3 times. She was looking for daddy. She would never find him because you can't find him. But you know what you can find? Your perfect one, your partner. And the quicker you stop looking for daddy, the sooner you'll find him. I wish you every success. Let me know how you get on. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.